Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. I'm here in beautiful Port Melbourne to drop in and visit Ken, check out his amazing 4-metre long reef tank. Alright, so a little while ago I did a video showcasing Ken coming to pick up some huge colonies for his 4-metre tank, and it generated a lot of questions of people asking if I could go visit Ken and get a video done of his tanks. So I was in the neighbourhood, I grabbed the camera and we popped in to pay Ken a visit, and here's the video. Ken, well, thanks for having us in your home on this freezing cold Melbourne day. I know you're a bit under the weather with the hay fever from the local trees dropping their leaves, but I appreciate you letting us in to show us this incredible tank. Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Oh, yeah, it's a new tank. Went through a couple stages, ugly stage already, but it's coming its way out. So finally can have some proper footage, and then I guess a few points that worth showing to other people. First, I guess, is the rock scape. We did it out of rainwater pipes, then hammered all real reef rock into small pieces and glued onto the pipe inside for two purposes. The pipe also hold the entire thing up as its structure, but also these pipes are using as a part of internal what's it called, a circulation system.
Closed loop,
yeah. Closed loop system. The bottom is drilled for the pipes to go in and out.
Okay. And
then we have the little island here. Originally wanted to go anemones, but a friend of mine has donated some of this really sexy morph, and decided to gonna turn into a morph island.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, and then as you can see, we're getting a couple of refugee pieces here. No one really wanted them for a long time, so I've really took all of them home from the shop. Few other shops too.
Everyone thinks you just go into your own shop and cherry pick all the good pieces out. But
yeah,
I come over here and you're like, this bit was in the store for 6 months. No one wanted it, so I took it.
yeah. Well, I cherry pick pretty much from all the shops. As you can see, we have the reflection display mushrooms. I mean, not mushroom, the leathers. Yep. Here, there, and then we have the Sam Parker's SPS, scrolling Monties. We have some display fish from Williamstown, New Life, Dave from Deer Park, and a couple other people, I forgot their names.
Yeah.
We
were talking about it before, and you listed pretty much every store in Melbourne you've been to got a bit of coral and fish from, which is pretty cool to see. And
what we're trying to do here is, obviously with some lobos and all these exposed areas, we're thinking about getting some green GSPs on it, and eventually covered in green GSPs, as it's not the best part of the tank, and I don't think anything else will really go well there.
Yep.
And then we have the, I call this the LPS layer, where majority of the LPS is at. And then above that is the back row. I want to grow SPS, and then the front row probably still a little bit more LPS. Over here, this is where all my zoas at.
Yeah,
so this will be one patch of the zoas. Second patch of the zoas. I don't know why the hammer's there. It's not even mine.
It's a nice hammer though.
Yep. I was just waiting for the zoas to start to grow out and cover the entire tube rock, and then eventually see which type is the best type, and probably will conquer them all and cover the rock.
It's always have a way of deciding who's going to dominate the rock. Yep.
That's it. And I guess that's really the stage of the tank. The sand previously had diatoms, gone now. Green algae, it was, if you don't believe me or not, it was entirely, the bottom was brown about 3 days ago. And I guess miracle happened at night time when I was not watching.
That's because I was coming to film your tank, so it just cleaned itself up.
I wish I have that capability. And the rocks still have some algae, cyan, bacteria, but just take it. We're taking it slow.
Yeah. How long has this tank been wet for now?
20 days, around 20 days.
Serious?
Yes, only being
man.
20 days. I mean, 20 days after the cycle.
Right.
But during cycle, I didn't really put anything in there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
apart from Dr.
including the
Tim.
cycle, including the cycle, how long has there been water in the tank?
The cycle for this tank is actually extremely long and painful. When I first started, I personally never had a tank this size before. So even we have some big coral system in the shop, but they are quite shallow, so the water volume is actually not as big as this one. So cycling a tank this size is definitely beyond my knowledge, and I was just applying what I know before to put the right scripted amount of Dr. Tim in there, wait the time, put ammonia in. But the problem for this tank is, I find, is when the ammonia stage disappear instantly, but then the nitrite stage just prolonged for a very, very long time. For this tank is 6 months, 6 weeks, the entire 6 weeks. And then after the 6 weeks, nitrites is gone. I have nitrate, but then I dose more ammonia into the tank. Ammonia is not turning into nitrite again.
Right.
So this problem bothered me for a while. Dunk another dose of Dr. Tim, and then literally took it 2 times. In total 10 weeks. Finally get it cycled, and I can't wait. So went a little bit Stone Age and got some damselfish put in the tank after the first stage of the cycle, and I have to say that definitely helped the process.
Yep.
And you make, I mean, at the end I don't know which one is the success secret that really cycled the tank, but I guess it made it work.
Got the tank cycled.
Yep, and after that, since the day I installed the KH lab, they logged every day on everything. There's about 20 days being properly documented and starting adding things. And majority of the stuff was in about 2 weeks ago. I added probably a couple more frags and that piece of rock in this week, but that's about it. I don't think I need to add anything more. Let the tank take its natural speed.
Do its thing, yeah, for sure.
And we see how it goes. Hopefully it's successful, as if it is not, gonna really bleed my wallet to add more stocking.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So tell us, let's go back a step. Tell us about the size of the tank.
Yeah, sure. The tank is 4.5 meter, including the overflow. But the viewing panel is only 4 meter, eat about 5 centimeter the tank here for the frame, 5 centimeter on the other side for the frame, and this was a fake wall. It was not here when I first come in this house. It's here just to house the
overflow.
The overflow, yes.
Yeah, wow.
And then the viewing panel from internally is 4 meter. I think it's enough. It's not the first tank.
It's 4 minutes. It's probably enough, yeah.
Yeah, it's not my first tank, so I have learned a couple lessons from custom built tanks. My last tank was a Peninsula tank. It was great when it was new. However, to have a Peninsula tank, the corners need to be exposed, and in the long term, the algae and all the nasty stuff to start growing there, you start to not look that pretty. Yep. And I guess I learned the lesson from a couple of the hobbyists that also build the tanks through Billy, went to their house, had a look, and I figured out the simplest way is always the best way. Yeah. One side of viewing panels is just more easier to build, price-wise even slightly cheaper, and just easy access, easy to plumb, easy to hide everything, your power head, your cables, everything, and it turned out pretty great.
Yeah, it looks stunning. I think that's only in the last 3 weeks started adding corals and things into it. It's going to be an absolute stunner in a couple of years once everything's really grown in and fills up a lot of that open space. And
absolutely,
the options you've got on fish-wise and stuff when you've got a tank that size is crazy.
Yeah, definitely a good choice. However, I want to play it safe a little bit this time. With my last tank, I went way too over with wrasse and surgeonfish, and adding so many mechanisms like algae scrubber, algae reactor. Try to do the nutrition control. This one, I want to step back a little bit and want to be more natural. Maybe fishes, as long as it keep the nitrogen phosphate on the right level, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think in a 1 year time we should do a revisit and see what's the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just going to step up on this little stool here and just have a little bit of a, I was going to say a peek up the skirt, but it's kind of down the top, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're running a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Kessel A360X, and then a
4 Orfex.
4 of the Orfec LED strips, and you've very cleverly used PVC to make the little light rack out of to keep everything nice and low under this crown. And I like the way you've got all your power up here above the water level, and just easy to access should you need to change a light out or anything like that.
Fully DIY'd with Bunnings equipment. Yeah, I think maybe we should have a look at the filtration about
Yeah,
as well.
show us the filtration room, because that's almost as much of a star in this tank as the tank itself.
As I said, everything here is from Bunnings, so if you recognize these rack,
Hashtag sponsored.
recognize the door handle, multi-use as a towel rack now, all my handy tools, get this pudding, also from Bunnings. I literally picked the biggest one there. The guy didn't understand why I need a vent that big, but I told him I have my reasons.
And you've got like all your testing instructions mounted up there, so you've got on easy keeping, you've got your fish food option here, you've got some RO fittings, you've got your rubber bands, you've got glues, you've got syringes, you've got your shark feeding tool, you've got your nets and your scrubbers, tweezers.
I have to say, if you guys are into Bunnings items, this is one of the new items. It's a ton, but you look like a fish. Heavily rated.
Unbelievable.
It's great. I don't know how useful it is because it's so short, but
it looks the part. All right, now this is where the rest of the Bunnings and the non-Bunnings items take hold. You can see the incredible Royal exclusive Dreambox down here, which you've got all sorts of options through there. I'm going to do my best not to bang my head on there, which apparently others have done. Shouting out to you, Jack. So you got the filter roller in there.
Yes, so it starts with a filter roller, and with this chamber here, it has a sonar on the side. It detects what's the water level here. So when the water level here is too high, it will trigger that mechanism to roll this roller mat.
Yes.
So then these new roller mat coming out of here. I already almost finished one. Not because my tank's dirty, just because I fiddle with it too much and I've damaged quite a lot of fabric. So just have to roll the next part out. And then when the water goes through here, then it's actually quite simple. Then we hit the skimmer chamber, as you can see.
Yeah, big beast of a skimmer.
Yeah, then the next chamber is the reactor chambers. Just 2 reactors from Royal exclusive. One is the Hamali resin reactor. I find it's best if running fine media. That's the best reactor.
Yeah.
And I have it in there. Roller frost at the back, carbon at the front, frost band in the middle.
Yep.
And then at the end is just the return and the inline circulation pump.
Beautiful.
And then on the other side is don't worry, is the RO filter. I have to say this unit is really great, but the better part is here when we're looking at it. I have almost used every single auto shut off, auto turn on in the market, and I have to say this is the best out of the best unit. It may not have English on it, including its instruction menus, but it is great. You can choose, you also control by a sonar at the end when the water level is low. You can not only choose when the water is high enough to turn it off, but instead of having auto turn on and off all the time, this one you can set how many minutes after it was popped up you wanted the RO to keep running.
Okay.
So you can build up a little bit of a reservoir. So next time it will take a while. For me, the experience is you turn on and off probably every 2 days. So it was pretty great. I'm pretty happy about it.
Does the trick well.
Yeah. And then
you've got your PacSun calcium reactor.
Yes, and PacSun KH lab up there. I
Yes.
definitely need more media, but hit by COVID, it's pretty hard to get these stuff at the moment.
This is true.
Yeah.
And you've got all your PowerPoints all labelled. You can see the auto shut-off, calcium reactor, KH lab, magnetic stir, resin reactor, all nice and done. So it's easy to access, easy to unplug, and also easy to identify which one you are switching on and off.
Yeah.
You've got the heater controller from Aqualogic there.
This is also a nice touch. Credit to Jack, took him some solid effort. This is the overflow tuning valve.
Okay.
So instead of it's inside the tank, you need to go your arm in to twist it. It's just right here. You can play with it all the time.
Perfect.
Same as the what's it called?
drain valve?
The drain valve.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Watch your head. And then on the top is a couple medications, etc. I hold reefers too, actually.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
All very well mounted in a space that wouldn't be overly accessible, or not accessible, but difficult
Not
to use.
too
but,
usable if we use it for any other purpose.
You've got your little whiteboard up here, or blue board up here, to keep dates of when you've changed your carbon, your GFO, when you do water changes, what your test results are, little shelves for all your test kits.
Yeah.
Got access to store your ladder.
Yes, and that's the drain for the whole thing.
Ah, so you plug into, okay, the drain goes in there. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'll turn around and pan out just so you can see why I was squatting down in there, because it's a fantastic space, but it's probably difficult to have a party of 10 people in.
Yes. When I first setting up this part, I personally never used a calcium reactor before, so I had a little bit of a lucky, you call lucky or unlucky moment. So I didn't know you need to use Teflon tape when you plumb a CO2 cylinder.
Okay.
So I didn't.
Yes.
Turned the valve on, was lying on the floor, tried to fix everything. The next morning, I realized the whole cylinder went flat, and I have intense headache the night before.
Oh.
So I was pretty lucky that the CO2 didn't kill me, I suppose.
Yeah. It's a good thing it's not a larger bottle.
No, it's not a large bottle. Yes. Learn my lesson the second time, need to use Teflon tape. And this one go out to Bill from New Life. You didn't sell me an empty bottle. I emptied it myself on accident.
Classic. That's an awesome space. I love it. Very nice. So now that you've got the tank up and running, and you've got some corals in there and some fish in there, how are things traveling? Is there anything that you'd change, or you want to see what you can improve on?
I mean, there's always something need to be improved. I have literally a list of the short-term goals and long-term goal for the tank. One of the pretty immediate, wouldn't call a problem because it hasn't caused any deaths yet, but it is something that, keep me up at night thinking about it, is the flow inside the tank. I don't think it's sufficient, and I guess I have invited Sam to come in today to have a look and give me his opinion, and he definitely agreed with me. The internal flow is not enough, as you never get something right the first time, and I really underestimate the size of this tank and the length of the tank and what it takes to pump out enough flows to create internal circulation. And if I done it right the second time, what I will do is probably beef up the internal circulation system, or give myself the flexibility of adding some aftermarket, power heads at some secret hidden locations. Saying that, Sam and I has finding out, because my rock scale is quite bulky, I do have a lot of place to hide the power heads at the back.
Yeah.
I probably will do that. I guess the hardest thing now is how I'm gonna hide the cables.
Yes.
Knowing being pretty fiddler as a person like me, what I probably will do is I'll splice the cable and extend it and try to find a way to waterproof it, and then I hide underneath the sand all the way to come to the back to let it go up, so it doesn't have a cable just going up the tank midway.
And if you're going to do that, do an extra 3 or 4 cables at the same time, even if you're not going to use them now, because you never know. You might need them in the future.
That's it. And I guess I mean, there's always a way to fix everything. I always feel like aquarium is a bubble. We let them live at somewhere they shouldn't. Just like when people want to go to Mars, put ourselves in a bubble. There's always party to fix. Always can do it better, and that is the biggest concern I have at the moment. Other concern has, when I start cycling the tank, I put a lot of these gold belly damsels in. They're not that pretty, and they're annoying me from time to time. But I find very difficult to catch them. I will always try. I'll keep trying. And I think, hopefully in a 1 year review, there will be no gold belly damsel in that tank.
We'll have to see. It might be your favourite fish by then.
We'll see about that, But yeah, that's the two immediate issues I have. Long-term issues I'm looking at is, one is the KH lab. I got it integrated. It's running. It was a rough start for me. First 2 weeks, the reading was over the top, way below. It was not right, but I know it's a new equipment. The tubes probably haven't run in. The water is just not sucking the right amount at the right time. And I do recalibrate all the time, but then the numbers just never right. So I let it slide and wait for 2 weeks. And I started doing that again. And I find probably this week, the testing numbers actually become more and more accurate. Got Marcus from Reef Nerd to come and have a look as well to fix the KH, but when he came, they actually kind of fixed the problem itself. So he was glad. Everyone's glad. No one want to do hard works. However, with the KH lab, for me, the biggest problem is for a tank this size, I need to really calibrate the calcium reactor to output quite a lot. I'm not trying to be and get 90% output of KH and calcium, but at least 70, 80%.
Yeah.
Because otherwise my daily dose will be way too much.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to mixing them or buying premix.
On a tank this size, trying to dose elk, calcium and magnesium in a liquid supplement, it would be some serious volume. If you get that calcium reactor pumping it out, it's going to take the edge off that significantly.
Absolutely. I'm just tuning on that. I'm still relying on liquid dosing at the moment because the pack sound part of the setup hasn't really fully run in yet. But it's normal. I know you probably shouldn't expect that to be done probably another 6 months down the line.
Yeah.
The other long-term issue I'm considering is this is the first time for me and anyone I heard I use that amount of Sikaflick inside a tank. I did Sikaflick testings on what are they leaching out, etc. I bought the best Sikaflick I can find. It was this drinking water grade Sikaflicks. However, as you can see, the rocks has a lot of algae and some bacteria on it. The leaching out time frame, not quite sure. I have literally 23 tubes of Sikaflick in this tank. So we will see how long it will get all the chemicals that I don't want to be out of this tank.
If that's a drinking water grade a glue, or silicon, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I think it'll probably clear up just fine. I have seen before though with artificial rocks, they do leach a lot of silica and silicates, and they just, when I say they leach it, it's just part of their construction. So it'll just take a little while for that to run its course, and then it'll clear up and go from there.
Yeah. So that's a couple of things over the top of my head that I need to figure out. Other things adding, try to trace pretty fish, pretty corals. Recently showing up in every shop around Melbourne. Pretty sure the shop owner's pretty annoying at me. They were like, why you come to get cherry pick all the best stuff? Can't you get it from a wholesaler yourself? I have since then restrained myself a little bit. I go to a shop, I pick the 5 things I want. The top 3, the best thing I want, I don't buy them because I know shop owners can make better money selling to other people, but I'm still kind of begging for the other two.
It's all part of the fun of a new tank is stocking it up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And this is the rock structure here. It's kind of hard to show you on camera, but it might be easy to look at that one. It's a free floating structure, so it's not attached to the back wall there at all, but it does hide a good section. So we're thinking you'll be able to fit something like a Tunzi Turbal Stream 3 in behind there, then pointing that way. The only thing would be to hide the cable, so the cable run would have to hide behind the rock and then try to come up out there.
Yeah.
But that would create a significant amount of flow in the tank and could well fix the potential issue. We don't know if it actually is an issue, but worth putting out to all the viewers of this channel to see what you think could be done regarding flow.
Absolutely, absolutely. Both pump on 100% at the moment, so I definitely can't, just click the setting higher. I wish that was that simple. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. No, it's looking really cool for a tank that's only been out of its cycle for just about a month now. I know it was a very long cycle, but you've definitely got some colour and some movement in there now, and I'm really excited to see where it goes over the next year or two. Absolutely,
absolutely. I think the fish were all doing very well because the majority of them are old fish, my old fish from the shop or display or my personal tank before. However, some of the corals are not tank proven yet, apart from all the same corals. So of course they are tank proven. Yes, but we will see how it goes. And
the big leathers you got from Ollie are looking great in there, though.
Yeah, they have suffered tremendously getting into this tank. They've been in a bucket for better part of a month before this tank was fully assembled. No filtration, no heater. I don't know how they lived. This one has fully recovered. All the ticks have come out now. That big piece is kind of coming out now. This one, you believe it or not, this is 1/3 the size when it's fully open. So it's kind of curled up at the moment. I mean, he attached himself, so I guess that's a plus.
They got some colour in there, and you can see the polyps are bound to come out soon. So I mean, it's looking good.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the colour. I can just get a pen brush, go down. It's 21st century, right? We've got many ways to colour up corals.
It'll colour up just fine. It's already looking good. Good stuff. All right. Well, I might leave you to your Sunday evening and
on my hay fevers, yes.
I'll let you enjoy your hay fever on your own, and I'll get back down the highway to Geelong. But thank you very much for having us here to check out this incredible tank.
Thank you, Sam, for coming all the way. It's definitely a pretty long way.
It's not every day you get to see a 4-metre long reef tank, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, you can always come here every day.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, and I'll try to fix this light next time you come here. I'll pull this off the ceiling. I don't know why they have this light here.
This light, my head is about that high. Every time I walk under it, I have to.
Believe it or not, there's many people who has a comment on that. Ollie hit his head a couple times on that light.
I can imagine. Well, I've joined the club. All right, guys, there you have it, the video on Ken's tank. It's only a few weeks running post-cycle, but you can see that it's already shaping up to be an incredible tank. I look forward to giving a few more updates in this tank as we reach a 6-month mark and a 12-month mark, which would be really cool just to see how it's progressing, but it'll also be a nice little memento for Ken down the track when he looks at his 5-year-old or 10-year-old tank and it's become a masterpiece. He can go back in time and have a look at its progression throughout its stages. So if you have any questions or suggestions on any of those issues or potential issues that Ken's facing, mainly around flow, or any other thing that you think that might be of interest for Ken, feel free to pop it in the comment section down below. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're yet to, please consider subscribing. Just hit that subscribe button, take you 2 seconds of your time, costs you no money, goes a long way to helping me out on this YouTube venture. Till next time, guys, stay safe and keep reefing. Cheers, bye.